doctors' strike continues. And trouble in Turkana. 8 people are killed in a cattle raid.
4 chicks deposit 400, 500.
No day I deposited same day that amount of money. That analysis is wrong.
The force under scrutiny. Controversial police vetting finally begins. Also, the campaign trail heats up. By-election candidates on the home stretch. Good evening and thank you for joining us for a comprehensive roundup of the day's news, business and sport here on KTN Prime. Now, 8 unborn babies died today at the largest referral hospital in the country as the health workers' strike entered its 8th day. The mothers had sought assistance at the Kenyatta National Hospital. And as Wilson Buru now tells us, this comes as a meeting between the workers and the Labour Cabinet Secretary turned out to be unsuccessful.
The health workers' strike entered day 8 Tuesday and with it took the lives of 8 unborn babies. The expectant mothers had gone to the Kenyatta National Hospital to seek medical attention after failing to get the essential services at their local health centers as health practitioners stayed away from the health facilities.
Kwa hivyo tumewasaidia, wamezaa watoto, lakini watoto already walikuwa wamekufa. Kwa wale ambao walikuja na watoto wakiwa hai, hatutapoteza hata mmoja. Kwa sababu wamekuwa wengi zaidi, na wengine wanapata watoto ambao watafikia wakati wa kuzaliwa. Our newborn unit imekuwa na watoto wengi sana.
The hospital management now says the situation at the facility is getting dire, with the number of patients, especially pregnant women, doubling over the last week. Blood supply is also running dangerously low.
Some departments like reproductive health, that is maternity and labor ward, the numbers have increased by over 100%. But overall, the increase that we have seen is about 50%.
The health workers have been protesting the move to transfer the duties of remunerating them to the county governments, arguing that there is no clear law giving governors the responsibility of paying their salaries. A meeting between the workers' representatives and the Labour Cabinet Secretary Kazungu Kambi did not seem to be conclusive, but the indication was that the workers are expected to resume duties soon.
So either wamefutwa, wamefanya nini, kesi iko kotini, na wao nimewaambia wafate ile maamuzi ya koti. Hii si inchi ambayo tutakeuka maamuzi ya mahakama, na wamekubali na wamesema wataleta yale matakwa yao, tuone tunaweza tukapata suluhisho namna gani.
Politicians have also expressed concerns over the ongoing crisis, with calls to the doctors to return to work.
Madaktari watii sheria na watii katiba ambayo inasema ya kwamba mambo ya afya ile mingi imekuwa katika county government.
Already, the health workers have been issued with a court order that outlaws their strike, but most of them have stayed away. Unlike previous doctors' strikes where top leadership of the country engaged directly with the striking union heads, the president and his deputy so far have steered clear of the issue.
It is now clear that the situation is slowly getting out of hand and may soon degenerate into a disaster if something is not done immediately. One can only hope that soon a solution will be found to end the suffering of the thousands of Kenyans who are in hospital. Wilson Buru, KTN, Nairobi.
Next tonight, 8 people have been confirmed dead following a Monday dawn attack on a village in Turkana by suspected cattle raiders. Authorities in Turkana say 2 of the dead are Pokot militiamen who were cornered by Turkana villagers. And as Najma Ismail reports, tension is still high along the border of the 2 communities.
1 woman and 2 bandits are among those killed in the dawn attack. 5 people said to be in critical condition are admitted at the Lodwar District Hospital. The Monday morning skirmishes occurred after suspected members of the Pokot community allegedly raided Lorengipi village and attacked the villagers using crude weapons. The 2 bandits who died are suspected to have been killed by villagers in what is believed to be a retaliatory attack occasioned by an earlier cattle raid carried out by the Turkana in Pokot. Loima MP Protas Akuja toured the area and accused members of the Pokot community of organizing the attacks and stealing at least 1,500 livestock. A crisis meeting to discuss the way forward is said to have been held several hours after the attack on Monday, and a contingent of police officers has been deployed to enhance security on the border separating the 2 counties. Several leaders from the Turkana community say the raids are politically motivated and want the government to compensate the victims. Najma Ismail, KTN Prime.
State House has confirmed that President Uhuru Kenyatta has signed the oppressive media bill into law. And now members of the Fourth Estate say they will challenge the decision by the President to assent to the controversial Kenya Information and Communication Amendment Bill.
With the draconian media bill that has elicited protests from media stakeholders having been assented to law by President Uhuru Kenyatta, journalists have voiced their dissatisfaction, vowing to move to court to challenge that decision. On Tuesday, Kenya Editors Guild and journalists through the Kenya Union of Journalists and the Kenya Correspondents Association said that their lawyers were making final preparations to move to court. Secretary of Communications and Presidential Spokesperson Manoa Esipisu confirmed that the president had indeed signed the bill that was passed by the National Assembly on December 5th. Journalists have described the laws as a setback in the industry, citing that they were being discriminated against years after making great strides in the freedom of the press. In light of the new law, the government will now control the Communications Authority of Kenya and create a Communications and Multimedia Appeals Tribunal with powers to muzzle the media. There are reports that journalists could be preparing for another countrywide protest to put pressure for an early review of the Kenya Information and Communications Amendment Bill 2013, now signed into law. Betty Kialo, KTN.
So the bill has been signed into law, and we want to hear from you about this evening. Let us know what you think. Do you think that journalists are justified in fighting the media bill? Would love to hear your opinion. You can give it to us on our Facebook page. You can SMS us on 22155. You can also tweet us. Our handle is at KTN Kenya, or you can tweet me directly. My handle is at Kachingira. Looking forward to hearing from you this evening. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto today concluded their tour of the Rift Valley with a rally at the Kapkatet grounds in Kericho County. The 2 leaders assured the Kalenjin community that all is well in the ruling coalition and that it is time to deliver on their campaign pledges.
The president and his deputy seemed determined to assure their supporters that the Jubilee Alliance is still as strong as it was during the political campaigns and elections earlier this year.
Tafadhali, mambo ya siasa ya kuchochea. Tunajua ile mambo iliharibu serikali ya nusu mkate. Kweli ya uongo? Kila siku ni siasa ambaye ni duni. Sisi tuwasema tunataka umoja wa watu wetu. Na waomba mkubali tushirikiane pamoja. Tufanye kazi pamoja. Tujenge taifa letu. Wakati wa siasa utakuja.
Uhuru's proclamation comes after an apparent disconnect among a section of Rift Valley leaders who feel that the region was getting a raw deal in the new government.
kazi yako. Ya seneta mfanye, ya gavana mfanye, ile ya president na naibu ya rais, mimi na Mheshimiwa Uhuru tutafanya.
When it came time for the governors to speak, Isaac Ruto did not mince his words when it came to the nationwide health workers strike.
Tumewaambia warudi kazi mara moja. Akitaka kurudi kazi, tunawaandika wengine. Kuna vijana wanataka kazi.
Health is a devolved function. Madaktari watii sheria na watii katiba ambayo inasema ya kwamba mambo ya afya ile mingi imekuwa katika county government.
Meanwhile, the government has set aside 200 million shillings for the rehabilitation of the Kapkatet Stadium. Catherine Omwando, KTN.
Well, the long-awaited vetting of police officers kicked off today. 4 of the 7 senior deputy commissioners of police appeared before the vetting panel. Here's Rita Tinina to give us the full story.
Day 1 of the vetting of police officers saw 4 officers in the rank of Senior Deputy Commissioner of Police appear before the Johnston Kavuludi-led vetting panel. Peter Eragai was the first to be vetted. Eragai, who was transferred from the Kenya National Focal Point on Small Arms to police headquarters at Vigilance House in 2009, accused former Commissioner of Police, retired Major General Hussein Ali, of having a vendetta against him. He told the National Police Service Commission that Ali declined to assign him any duties following his transfer, claiming he had not been consulted.
I needed to be put into use other than sitting out there doing absolutely nothing.
Senior Deputy Commissioner of Police 1, Francis Omondi Okonya, was second to appear before the vetting panel. Okonya, who has worked in, among other places, the banking fraud unit at the Central Bank of Kenya, the flying squad, the criminal investigations department and the police headquarters, was taken to task over suspicious deposits amounting to 2.9 million shillings into his bank account in October last year.
4 checks deposit 400, 500, 500, 500. But they were deposited on 10th October 2012.
Chairman, my bank statement is here. There's no day I deposited same day that amount of money. That analysis is wrong.
Part of Okonya's vetting was done in camera over what the vetting panel termed as national security reasons. When the panel resumed its open session in the afternoon, John Patrick Ochieng Owino was on the hot seat. Owino, the director of the Small Arms Secretariat, was hard-pressed to explain why he received 2 salaries for months after he was seconded to the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority.
We did write a letter to the Commissioner of Police, and it was agreed that they were going to deduct the same amount from my salary.
GSU Commandant William Saia was the last to be vetted on day 1 of the exercise. But aside from his introductory statement, his vetting was conducted in camera. The National Police Service Commission will on Tuesday vet 3 senior deputy commissioners of police, Peter Kavila, Omar Shurie and Jonathan Kosgei, before retreating to analyze its findings. The second phase of the vetting exercise will kick off on the 6th of January next year with the vetting of 26 deputy commissioners of police, 66 senior assistant commissioners of police and 115 assistant commissioners of police. Rita Tinina, KTN.
Today marked the last day of campaigns in Bungoma ahead of Thursday's by-election. Candidates are actually not allowed to carry out campaigns this evening and tomorrow. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is expected to start distribution of ballot papers to various polling stations in the county. Now, Ben Katili is in Bungoma with the last effort by candidates to woo voters.
Campaigns for the Bungoma senatorial by-election reached fever pitch Tuesday as all the 4 contenders stepped up their search for votes ahead of the polls that are slated for Thursday. According to Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission regulations, Tuesday was the last day of official campaigns, and all the camps made the most of it. Former Webuye Member of Parliament Musikari Kombos, vying for the Bungoma Senate seat on a New Ford Kenya party ticket, made a grueling roundabout the county accompanied by Amani coalition figures Musalia Mudavadi and Eugene Wamalwa, among other leaders. Culminating in a big rally at the poster grounds in Bungoma town.
Mimi nimekuja mbele yenu. Sitakuja na fimbo. Sitakuja na rungu.
Kombo, whose successful petition bundled Moses Wetangula out of the Senate, rallied voters behind his cause one more time, promising to deliver peace and development.
Nimekuja kuwaomba kwa unyenyekevu. A vote for Kombo is a vote for peace. A vote for Kombo is a vote for security.
Amani coalition leader Musalia Mudavadi also drummed up support for Kombo, promising to unite the region.
Honorable Raila, even if my house is a hut, a thatched hut, please respect my house.
Bungoma Governor Ken Lusaka also threw his weight behind Kombo.
Nikiwa gavana wenu hapa leo, nimekuja kusema kwamba ninathibitisha yote ambayo tumesema kubaliana kwamba tupate kiongozi kama Mheshimiwa Kombo ambaye atatusaidia.
A few hundred meters across town at the Masinde Muliro Stadium in Kandui, the CORD coalition also held another big rally as Moses Wetangula made a final call to Bungoma voters to reinstate him.
We stand here before you to give testimony to the will of the people of Bungoma.
Wetangula is vying for the seat he lost in an election petition on a Ford Kenya ticket, which is part of the CORD coalition. He remained hopeful of recapturing the seat.
To send out a clear warning to our detractors that we shall neither be cowed nor stopped.
CORD leader Raila Odinga and his co-principal Kalonzo Musyoka were also in tow to drum up support for the third co-principal in the minority coalition.
Tunataka kuona kama Mataa anarudi sio na kura kidogo na kura mingi zaidi. Hiyo ndio sababu tumekuja hapa. Sisi wana CORD tumesimama imara na tumebaki tunatetea haki ya Wakenya vile tulikuwa tunatetea.
Failure by Wetangula to recapture the Bungoma seat would lead to a situation where all three CORD leaders would be out of parliament, a situation the CORD camp is confident of avoiding. The other two candidates, former Bumula MP Bifoli Wakoli, was running on a Labour Party ticket, and independent candidate David Makali had relatively low-key final campaigns. Efforts to balance power in the Senate between CORD and Jubilee continue, and as the curtain falls on campaigns ahead of Thursday's by-election here in Bungoma, CORD co-principal Moses Wetangula is facing a formidable three-pronged challenge in a must-win bid to retain the Bungoma seat. Residents of Bungoma will make that all-important decision come Thursday. Ben Kitili, KTN, Poster Grounds, Bungoma.
Well, those are not the only people looking for votes. 6 candidates will contest the Bomachoge Borabu by-election tomorrow. These are TNA's Joel Onyancha, Albert Nyaundi of Ford People, and Peter Kimori of ODM. The others are Samson Mbenche of PPK, Josiah Maga of the UDF, and Christopher Siambe of KSC. We are about to take a short break, but I just want to remind you of our big cue tonight. We're asking you whether you feel that journalists are justified in fighting the media bill that, as we learned this evening, has just been passed into law. Let us know what you think. You can do so by sending us an SMS on 22155 or tweeting us at KTN Kenya or at Kachingira. We'll be right back after this break. Emerging from the dark shadows, sex workers seek legitimacy.
How do you set up 3,000 doctors for competition by 47 counties? In fact, we are more patriotic than he is, because you're saying, let these 3,000 doctors be employed by the central government, so that the central government, when it posts you to Mandera, there is no other way out. You just have to go to Mandera.